The discovery, the desert winds of Targus 9, never stopped. They moved like ghosts across the red sands, whispering over rocks and broken metal. It was a quiet planet, abandoned long ago by the first settlers. Now, only research teams came here, looking for answers buried beneath the dust. Dr. Leo Marsh stood at the edge of a deep sand trench. His boots were half buried and his scanner beeped softly in his hand. Behind him, 2 team members, Alex and Maya, waited for instructions. "There's something here," Leo said, staring at the blinking dot on his scanner. "About 5 meters. Down." "Another broken satellite?" Maya asked. Leo shook his head. "No, the shape is wrong. It's rectangular." They started digging. For the next 2 hours, the sun climbed higher, burning bright in the purple sky. Sweat rolled down Leo's back. The sand was dry and thick, but they kept going. Then, with a heavy clang, Alex hit something solid. "Got it!" he shouted. They cleared the rest of the sand, and soon a large metal crate appeared. It was old, rusted, with strange symbols etched into its surface. No lights, no markings, not human design. Not any alien race known to them either. Leo kneeled beside it. He placed his hand on the cold metal. It felt strange, colder than the sand around it. Almost alive. "Run a scan," he said. Maya held up the scanner. It buzzed, glitched, then went dark. "It's blocking everything," she said. "Even the power cells are going crazy." "Maybe it's a storage unit," Alex offered. "Left by some ancient species?" Leo didn't answer. He was staring at the crate, eyes fixed on the symbols. They weren't just random marks. They were arranged, like a warning. "It's sealed tight," Maya said, knocking lightly on the lid. "We'll need cutters to open it." "No," Leo said quickly. "We shouldn't open it yet." Maya looked confused. "Why not?" Leo hesitated. Then quietly he said, "I heard something, just now, when I touched it." Alex frowned. "You heard something?" "Yes," Leo replied. "A voice. It said, 'Leave it shut.'" They laughed nervously, thinking he was joking, but Leo didn't laugh. That night, as the team camped near the site, the desert grew colder. Their small shelter buzzed with quiet static. Radio signals came and went. Maya tried to fix the comms. Alex kept watch. Leo couldn't sleep. He stared at the crate under the moonlight. It looked different now, less like a box and more like a coffin. The sand around it had shifted. It was sinking deeper again, as if the planet itself wanted to hide it. Leo stepped outside. He walked slowly toward it, boots crunching in the sand. The wind whispered in his ears, soft and strange. When he reached the crate, he kneeled beside it again. He placed his hand on it. No voice this time. Just silence. But then, a faint hum. Low. Steady. Almost like breathing. Leo pulled his hand back. Click. He froze. The sound came from the crate. A soft metallic click, followed by a slow hiss. Something inside was moving. Gears maybe, or locks. He stepped back quickly. "Maya! Alex!" he shouted. They ran to him, weapons drawn. The crate was making noise now, quiet grinding sounds like something turning inside. "We didn't open it," Maya said. "It's opening itself," Leo replied. They stared at the crate, weapons ready, breath held. But it didn't open fully. Just a thin line appeared down the middle, barely enough to see inside, and from the darkness inside came a whisper. Not words this time, just a sound, like a warning, a breath, something not made by machines. Alex stepped forward. "We should open it all the way." "No," Leo said again. His voice was firm this time. "We wait. We call base." But base didn't answer. Their comms were dead. The team stood there in silence, the crate between them, glowing slightly from the inside now. A soft blue light, like the heartbeat of something asleep. Maya looked at Leo. What if it's a trap? Leo didn't answer. He was staring at the symbols again. They were changing. The edges were moving, glowing faintly. The warning was no longer just a message. It was a lock. And something inside wanted out. The crate hummed once more, and then it went silent. Something is watching. The crate did not move again that night, but no one in the camp slept. Leo sat near the edge of the dig site, staring at the strange object buried half in the sand. It had opened just a little, no more than a crack. Yet that was enough to change everything. Inside the crack, he had seen something. Not a machine, not wires, something darker, something waiting. You sure it whispered again? Maya asked quietly beside him. Leo nodded. Not in words. It was like a warning without language. Great, Alex said from the tent. We're babysitting an alien ghost box. They tried the comms again. Still dead. All channels were silent. Only static remained. The planet had gone quiet. Too quiet. The next morning, something had changed. Footprints. Leo found them around the crate. But not human footprints. They were thin. Long. Like bird tracks, but with 4 sharp claws at the end. The prints circled the crate, stopped at the crack, then vanished into the desert. Could it be an animal? Maya asked. Leo shook his head. No desert life on Targus 9 has feet like that. I've seen the biology reports. So, what is it? Something that shouldn't be here. They followed the tracks for a few meters, but they stopped suddenly, as if whatever made them had disappeared into thin air. Later that day, things got worse. Alex left the camp for 10 minutes to collect solar batteries from the rover. He was gone for 3 hours. When he returned, he was covered in sand, breathing hard and sweating like he had run through a storm. Where were you? Leo asked, shocked. What do you mean? Alex replied. I was only gone a few minutes. Maya looked at the clock. You left at 09:20. It's 12:14 now. Alex stared at them, confused. No way. I just walked to the rover and back. Did you see anything out there? He hesitated. Then his voice dropped to a whisper. I think something was watching me. That night, the temperature dropped below freezing. The wind howled harder than before, slamming into the tents. The sand carried strange sounds now, clicks, screeches, and something like a heartbeat. Leo stayed up again. He couldn't stop looking at the crate. His eyes burned from lack of sleep, but then he saw it. The crate was glowing again. Faint blue light pulsing softly inside, like it had a heart of its own. The crack had widened just a little more, and the symbols, they were changing shape again. This time they formed an image, a circle with 3 lines crossing through it. Leo didn't know what it meant, but something inside him said, a door. Suddenly, the camp lights flickered, and then the voice came again. Louder, closer. You opened the first gate. You will not survive the second. Leo jumped back. Did you hear that? He shouted. Maya and Alex ran to him, both shaking. We heard something, Maya said, but not words, just a sound in our heads. It spoke to me clearly, Leo said. Then Alex gasped. He pointed at the sky. Above them, far beyond the thin clouds, a satellite was falling. That's ours, Maya said. S9 relay. Why is it dropping? It fell fast, burning in the atmosphere. Then, silence again. We've been cut off completely, Leo said. Later that night, something entered their camp. The motion sensors didn't trigger, but Leo heard it. Soft scratching on the metal outside the tent. He crawled out slowly, holding his torch. Nothing. He turned to go back inside, but then he saw it. A shadow standing near the crate, not moving, not breathing, not human, tall, thin, head too long for a normal shape, and in its hand, something glowing, a small orb of light. It looked directly at Leo, but no eyes, just darkness where a face should be. Leo couldn't move. His legs were frozen. The shadow raised the orb toward the crate, and the crate responded. A loud metallic hum shook the ground, and the crate opened another inch. The light flashed once, and the figure was gone. No footprints. Just sand. Leo fell to his knees, heart pounding. Maya ran to him. What happened? Something was here, he said, voice trembling. It opened the crate more. What was it? Leo looked at the sky again. I think it wasn't alone. The next morning, their entire camp had shifted, literally. Tents, tools, rover. Everything was 20 meters east of where they had set it. None of them moved it. The sand under their feet felt different. Hollow. Leo dropped to the ground, pressed his ear to the sand. He heard something. Not machines, not wind. Breathing. Open the crate. The third day on Targus. 9 began with silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the kind that presses into your ears, makes your heart beat louder, and tells you something is very, very wrong. Leo, Maya, and Alex stood over the crate again. None of them spoke. The crack in the metal had now grown to nearly 2 inches wide. Enough to see inside. Leo shined a light through the gap. What he saw made his blood turn cold. Inside the crate was not machinery, not weapons, not bones. There was a suit, humanoid in shape, resting in a locked position, knees bent, arms across the chest. It wasn't armor, though it looked strong. It was too smooth, too elegant, too alive. It looks like it's sleeping, Maya whispered. Or waiting, Leo said. We need to open it fully, Alex said. We're stuck here anyway. Base is offline. Our comms are fried. Let's just see what this thing is. Leo hesitated. You said it told you not to open it, Maya reminded him. It did, Leo replied, staring at the symbols on the side of the crate. They had now changed again. This time they looked like coordinates and a countdown. But what if, he said slowly, the warning wasn't to protect us, but to protect it from us? The wind picked up suddenly, kicking sand into their faces. Then the ground beneath them shook, softly at first, then stronger, like something turning deep under the surface. Leo made his decision. We open it. Now, carefully. They used the plasma cutter. The outer shell of the crate hissed and groaned, as if the metal itself didn't want to break. As the seal broke fully, a deep vibration filled the air, like a drumbeat. Like a heartbeat, the top of the crate slowly lifted, all by itself. Steam escaped from the sides. Blue light poured out. And then they saw it. The suit, now fully exposed, standing upright inside the crate. Tall, about 7 feet. Dark silver in color, covered in tiny glowing veins of light, pulsing softly. But it wasn't empty. Inside the suit was something, not flesh, not mechanical, just light. A faint silhouette, almost human, made of energy. Unmoving. Sleeping. What is this? Maya asked. Leo stepped closer. And then the suit turned its head toward him. No one moved. Did it just... Before he could finish, the suit opened its chest, not violently, not like a weapon, but like an invitation. Inside, floating above a pedestal, was a living map, a glowing sphere with hundreds of shifting lights inside it, planets, stars, coordinates, and at the center, Earth. Leo reached toward it. The moment his fingers touched the edge of the sphere, the map activated. It projected a massive star chart into the air around them, and on it, a signal, a line of red light connecting the crate to deep space. What the hell is this? Alex said, stepping back. A message appeared in the air. written in strange glyphs. But then the symbols changed, shifting into English. Earth is being watched. Leo's heart dropped. And then the second message appeared. You have broken the seal. Judgment begins. Alarms went off in their suits. The camp's temperature dropped rapidly. Maya shouted, We've got movement. 5 life forms approaching. Fast! Leo looked around. From where? Everywhere. A sandstorm began to rise on the horizon. Not natural. It was moving too fast. And within the dust, shadows. Tall, thin, walking upright. Inside the shelter, now. Alex yelled. They ran, but the wind knocked the tent flat within seconds. Leo turned around, saw one of the figures standing on the crate. It wasn't the same as before. This one looked like the suit inside, but empty. And then it moved. It jumped off the crate, landed softly on the sand, and walked slowly toward them. Maya aimed her weapon. Stop right there. The figure didn't stop. Leo stepped forward. Wait. It's not attacking. The figure raised its arm and pointed at Leo. The map sphere flew into Leo's chest, disappearing inside him like it had merged with his body. Leo screamed, his mind filled with images, not dreams. Memories, wars, thousands of years old. Burning planets, a test, a prison. The crate was not a container, it was a lock, and Leo had just become its key. He fell to his knees, gasping. Maya and Alex ran to him. What happened? Maya asked. Leo looked up at her, eyes glowing faintly blue now. They built it to judge. Civilizations, he whispered. It's part of a network, an old forgotten system. We triggered it. What did we trigger? Alex asked. Leo stood slowly, still shaking. The second trial is coming. He turned toward the glowing crate. And Earth is now on the list. The Guardian wakes. The crate was empty. The suit was gone. And Leo, Marsh was no longer the same man. Hours had passed since the map sphere had entered his body. He sat by the ruins of the crushed tent, holding his head, breathing heavy. His eyes still glowed faintly blue, flickering like a dying star. Sweat rolled down his face, but he felt cold inside. Cold, and watched. Maya and Alex stayed close, worried, but silent. You need to rest, Maya said, placing a hand on his shoulder. Leo shook his head slowly. I can't. It's still inside me. Like it's awake now. Like it's listening. Listening to what? Alex asked. Everything. Then they heard the sound. It came from the ridge above the dig site, metal scraping against stone, not wind, not footsteps. Something heavy. Armored. They looked up together and saw the suit, the one that had vanished, standing on the edge of the dune. But now it was moving on its own, walking slowly, with purpose. That's impossible, Maya said. It was just a shell. Not anymore, Leo said. He stepped forward despite Alex's warning. The suit stared down at him, motionless. Blue lights ran through its body like veins, pulsing in sync with Leo's heartbeat. Then, without a sound, it leapt off the ridge. It landed just meters away from them, sand rising around its feet. But it didn't attack. Instead, it knelt, bowed, like a soldier before a king. What the hell is happening? Alex whispered. Leo didn't answer. He felt something deep in his bones. The suit was connected to him now, not as a machine to a pilot, but as a guardian to. It's chosen. The suit stood again and turned toward the crate. With one swift motion, it reached inside the crate's base, where a false wall collapsed. Inside was a second device, smaller, glowing red, a perfect sphere with shifting black lines. It floated into the air, hovered, then shattered into thousands of shards, and in its place, a new message appeared in the air. Trial 1 complete. Observation begins. Prepare for Phase 2, confrontation. Maya stepped back. Trial? Observation? What is this? A test? Yes, Leo said. But not for us. What do you mean? We're not being tested alone. Earth is. Suddenly, the Guardian moved. Its body shimmered, its limbs folded inward, and armor shifted and clicked, changing shape. Then, from its back, wings formed. Not bird wings, not mechanical. They were light, pure energy, and they hummed like engines spinning up. With a burst of power, the Guardian launched into the air, flying straight toward the stars. "Where is it going?" Maya shouted. Leo stared at the sky. "To wake," the others. They didn't sleep that night. Leo kept seeing visions, flashes in his mind every time he closed his eyes. He saw alien worlds falling to ash. He saw guardians in thousands of forms, judging civilizations, choosing who would survive and who would vanish. He saw Earth. The sky was on fire, cities crumbling, humans running. But the cause wasn't alien. It was us, our war, our weapons, our failure to change. Early the next morning, something new arrived. A black monolith, 10 feet tall, appeared just outside their camp. They hadn't heard it land, hadn't seen it come. It was just there, smooth, flawless, and humming. "Where did this come from?" Alex asked. Leo approached slowly. Symbols lit up on its surface. New ones. Not warnings, questions. Define strength. Define unity. Define sacrifice. They were being judged, not by fire, not by war, but by how they answered. Leo touched the monolith. In that moment, time slowed. His breath froze in his lungs. A voice entered his mind, not like before. This one was calm, clear, ancient. "You are the bridge. Your mind holds the gate. Your people will face what they are. We have watched before. We will watch again." And then it was gone. The voice, the moment, the connection. He staggered back. Maya caught him. "What did it say?" "We're being watched, but not by them. Not only them." He looked at the sky again. Something else is coming. In orbit above Targus 9, a silent ship powered on for the first time in centuries. Not human. Not alien. Something older. Inside, thousands of seats filled with dust began to glow, as if waking from a long, long sleep. On Earth, back at mission control, technicians watched their screens flicker. A single message appeared across every satellite. "Network, no sender, no code, no source, just 3 words. The seal broke." The signal, for the first time since arriving on Targus 9, Leo could hear everything, not with his ears, but with something deeper. The map sphere inside him had connected to something bigger. Every heartbeat felt like a radar ping. Every breath echoed back with answers from far away. Earth, Mars, outer colonies. He could feel signals traveling through space, bouncing off satellites, slipping into hidden channels, and one message kept repeating. Seal broken. Observation active. Judgment begins. Maya and Alex were busy scanning the monolith, trying to understand its purpose. But Leo stood away from them, staring at the stars. "They're listening to us now," he said quietly. "Everything we say. Everything. We do." Maya looked up. "Who? The Guardians?" Leo shook his head. "No, something older than them, something that made them." In orbit above Targus 9, the Guardian suit, the one that had awakened, hovered above the planet like a silent moon. Its body now connected to a vast array of ancient satellites, long dead until now. Their antennas reactivated, turning slowly toward Earth. A single pulse shot outward. Not a weapon, a signal, the kind no modern system could block. The kind that didn't need technology to reach its target. It was alive. On Earth. The pulse reached every major comm tower in under 5 seconds. Networks crashed, space stations went dark, military satellites started spinning, losing control, and then the message appeared, on screens, on holograms, on dreams. "One of you has opened the seal." The test begins. World leaders gathered. Panic grew. But the message never changed. It didn't ask for surrender. It didn't demand anything. It just watched. Back on Targus 9, Leo collapsed to his knees. His body burned like fire under his skin. Maya rushed to his side. "What's happening?" "They're inside me," he gasped. "Not like possession, more like updates. Unlocking pieces of knowledge, memories." Whose memories? The first ones. The creators. The ones who set the tests across the stars. He looked up at her, face pale, eyes glowing brighter now. "I think I just saw what happened to the last planet that failed." A flash in Leo's mind. A world larger than Earth, filled with tall towers, floating cities, advanced beyond anything humans had built, and then gone. Not exploded, not invaded, just erased, as if time itself had rejected them, like their name was wiped from the universe. Leo woke from the vision screaming. Alex pulled him up. "We're pulling out! Now! We call base! Request evac!" Leo shook his head. Too late. On the ridge above them, more guardians appeared. 3 this time, each different in design. One had massive arms like a tank. One floated without legs. One was completely silent, featureless, like a walking shadow. They surrounded the crate silently, but none of them moved to attack. "What are they doing?" Maya whispered. Leo stepped forward. He heard something again, a signal inside his head, but this time it wasn't a warning. It was a question. "Are you ready for the first confrontation?" Leo answered without speaking. "Yes." A blast of light engulfed the area. The sky darkened, the sand lifted into the air. The monolith split open, revealing a spiral staircase leading down into the ground, beneath the desert, beneath everything. Leo turned to the others. "This wasn't just a crate. It's a door, a way into the test zone." "What's down there?" Maya asked. "Proof, and something worse." "Worse than this?" Leo nodded. "The thing they built the Guardians to stop. But I thought the Guardians were here to judge us." They were. But now, they're scared of something too. Deep under Targus 9, the staircase led into a chamber of black glass and living stone. Inside were rows of pods, each one holding a figure, frozen mid-scream, mid-run, mid-fight. "These aren't statues," Maya whispered. "They're real. They failed," Leo said. "This is what happens when you break the rules of the trial." "What rules?" Leo looked toward a far wall, where another message burned in red. "No war, no lies, no fear. You break one, you break them all." "How are we supposed to pass that?" Alex asked. "Humans are war, lies, fear." "Maybe that's why they sent me," Leo said. "I'm not here to lead. I'm here to be tested too." Then the ground trembled. The chamber lights dimmed, and from deep within the cave, something roared. Not mechanical, not alien. Something older than both. Something waking up in the skies above Earth. A second message arrived, this time not from the Guardians, but from something else. A signal Earth didn't recognize, not from any known race, not from any known galaxy, but still written in perfect English. "He has the key. We want it back." The first Trileo had faced storms before, but never like this one. Not a storm of wind, not sand, but memory, false memories, real pain, lost futures. He stood in the underground chamber beneath Targus 9, surrounded by frozen figures trapped in crystal pods. He couldn't stop looking at their faces, caught in the moment, before death or terror or surrender. A gallery of failure, and then the voice came again. Not the whispering one from before. This one was clear, cold, final. Trial 1 begins. Confrontation. The lights went out. Complete darkness. Then, a low hum, vibrating the stone beneath their feet. Alex turned on. His shoulder lamp. It flickered, then died. "I can't see anything," he shouted. "Don't move," Maya yelled back. But it was too late. The world changed, not physically, mentally. Leo opened his eyes and found himself standing on Earth. But not the Earth he remembered. City burned in the distance. Buildings collapsed. Sky red with smoke. He was alone until he heard the voice. A child's voice. "You said you'd come back, Dad." He turned and saw his daughter. But he didn't have a daughter. "This isn't real," Leo whispered. The girl stepped forward. Her face was familiar. Too familiar. His mind screamed that it was an illusion, a test. But his heart cracked. "You chose the stars instead of me." Leo dropped to his knees. The girl's eyes turned black. "You left us to burn." The scene shattered like glass. Maya was next. She stood in a white room. Her brother stood across from her, the one who had died 5 years ago in a failed spacewalk. "You said you'd save me," he whispered. Maya froze. "You had the controls. You let go." No, I tried. You always let go." The walls bled. The stars screamed. She covered her ears and woke in the darkness, screaming. Alex was in a battlefield, not one from history, one from his dreams. Dead soldiers everywhere. There. Faces all looked like his. His own voice echoed in the sky. "You survived, but you were never the hero." 1,000 weapons turned toward him. He dropped to his knees. And then, everything stopped. They all awoke at once back in the chamber, sweating, shaking, changed. Leo looked around. The frozen pods were gone. In their place, mirrors stood tall, and in each mirror, a reflection not of their bodies, but of their worst selves. Liar, coward, traitor. Beneath each mirror was a word. Fail. Leo stepped forward, breathing hard. "This is it. This is the trial." "They're not testing our strength," Maya said. "They're testing our truth." "Our guilt," Alex added, wiping blood from his nose. Leo touched the mirror. It shattered. A final voice echoed in the chamber. The first, "Truth has been revealed." The second comes with blood. The ground shook violently. A new door opened in the far wall. Beyond it, blackness and a set of stairs, leading down even further. Leo took a step forward, but the Guardian appeared again, the same one from before. This time it had changed. Its lights were dim. It was wounded, deep slashes across its chest plate, leaking blue fluid. What happened? "To it?" Maya asked. Leo stepped forward. The Guardian reached out and placed something in his hand. A fragment, a piece of a symbol, part of the same map sphere that had entered Leo's body. "They are coming," Leo whispered, reading the memory encoded in the shard. "Who?" Leo looked up. The ones the Guardians were built to fight. The Watchers. Meanwhile, above Earth, a second ship had arrived. Silent, cold, not alive, not dead. It drifted into orbit, and every camera on Earth turned to static. Then a single symbol appeared on every screen, a circle with a slash through it. The same as the crate's warning, and one message followed. "He is not ready. Remove the bridge." Back on Targus 9, the cave walls began to change. Shapes moved under the stone. Then, a giant eye opened beneath the floor. Not metaphorical. Real eye. Something ancient was buried deep in this planet. Not tech. Not a weapon. Something alive. Leo stared into the eye, and it stared back. He heard his own voice echo, though he didn't speak. "You were never chosen. You were only close enough to touch it first." The truth of the crated Targus 9 was no longer silent. Beneath the surface, the planet breathed. The ancient eye that had opened under the stone chamber never blinked. It stared into Leo Marsh's soul, peeling away the walls he had built inside. His mind, every lie, every fear, every secret he never told even himself. But the eye did not speak. It didn't have to. Leo already knew. The crate had never been a warning. It was bait. Maya held the plasma rifle tightly, eyes locked on the stone walls that now pulsed like veins. "Leo," she said quietly, "we need to go. Now." "We can't," Leo replied, his voice flat. "We're not outside the trial yet." Alex stepped beside them. "Look around. The cave is changing. It's folding in on itself." They were right. The chamber was no longer stone. It was glass, and behind the glass the watchers moved, tall, thin, impossible shapes, like shadows that had grown bones. Their eyes glowed white, not with light, but with judgment. "What are they?" Maya whispered. Leo answered without turning. "They were the first judges. They created the guardians. They set the trials. But something changed. They broke their own laws." "What does that mean?" Leo finally turned around, looking at his team. They started taking control, no longer watching, interfering. They no longer tested for peace. They began punishing evolution. Evolution of what? Us. Above Earth, the silent ship in orbit finally opened. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. Instead, it began to drain. Light, gravity, energy, space itself. A black ripple spread from the ship like an infection. Satellites dropped from orbit. Data was erased. And somewhere deep in Earth's command systems, one word kept appearing: recalibration. Back on Targus 9, Leo stepped forward toward the eye, not afraid now, only certain. "You wanted someone to open the crate," he said. "Someone just curious enough, desperate enough, human enough." The watchers didn't respond, but the eye began to split open further, and inside something rose from beneath. A second sphere, twice the size of the first, but this one was black. Dead. No light. No symbols. Maya aimed her rifle. "Is that another map?" Leo shook his head. "No," he whispered. "That's the lock." To what? To something they buried before memory. He turned to his team. The crate wasn't meant to warn. It was meant to hold. And I just broke the second seal. The watchers began to move toward them. Slow. At first, then faster. No footsteps, no sound, just forward motion. "They're coming!" Alex yelled, firing at the nearest figure. The plasma blast hit the wall, but the watcher was no longer there. It was behind him. Maya screamed. But before the watcher could reach Alex, the guardian appeared again, limping, broken, sparks flying. From its joints, it threw itself between the humans and the watchers. Leo reached into the air and pulled the map sphere from his chest. It was still alive, still glowing. "This is what they want," he said. "This sphere, this knowledge. But it's also the only thing that can stop them." The black sphere, the lock, began to hum. For the first time, a voice filled the chamber. Not the watchers, not the guardians. Something deeper, older. One key, one bridge, one sacrifice. Leo closed his eyes. He understood now. In the past, an ancient species had unlocked galactic travel. They created the trial system to protect balance. But their creations, the Watchers, began rewriting the rules. They sealed away the final key in Targus 9. They built the crate not to tempt, but to delay. Delay until someone worthy would arrive. Not strong, not perfect, just human. Leo turned to Maya and Alex. "Get out of here. Follow the tunnel behind that wall. There's an exit path built for emergencies." "No," Maya said. "You're not doing this alone." Leo smiled sadly. "Yes, I am. This was never meant for three, just one." He turned back toward the lock, placed the glowing sphere inside the black one. The entire planet shook. Cracks split through. The ground. The Watchers screamed. a sound like wind being torn apart, and the Guardian stepped beside Leo one last time. Together, they stepped into the light on Earth. The black ripple stopped. The ship in orbit blinked once, then shut down. Humans everywhere looked to the sky and saw the stars again, clear, alive, free. Back on Targus 9. The chamber was empty. No watchers, no crate, no Leo. But on the stone where he stood, a new message had appeared, burned into the rock. He passed, not by strength, but by choice. Humanity is flawed, and that is why it must survive. Epilogue. 3 months later, a transmission reached Earth. No source, no signature, just Leo's voice. They gave us the stars again. Don't waste them.